By Jon Craig, chief political correspondent at Tory MP, once tipped as a rising star, looks certain to face a severe reprimand after dismissing Theresa May's government as a tshow. Former Army Captain Johnny Mercer said he would not vote Conservative if he was not an MP and that his values are no longer in line with the party. His outspoken outburst, in an interview with Parliament's The House magazine, will infuriate Tory MPs and land him in trouble with the party's high command. Furious PM hints at Brexit delay. He is almost certain to be hauled in by Government Chief Whip Julian Smith for a dressing down and a warning that his comments are a gift to the Tories' opponents. Mr. Mercer, 37, won Plymouth Moor View from Labour in 2015 and held it with a majority of just over 5,000 over Jeremy Corbyn's party in last year's general election. In his controversial interview, Mr. Mercer's attacks on the Prime Minister and the government also included claiming the Tories are being openly ridiculed, suggesting his party has nothing to offer voters beyond Brexit, suggesting Mrs. May is a technocrat, claiming Chequers is a classic professional politician's answer that pleases nobody. More than 40,000 people have signed our petition, have you? Within an hour of his interview being published, Labour Shadow Cabinet member Andrew Gwynn taunted him and tweeted, "Wonder if he sent a letter to the 1922 then," but Mr. Mercer was defended by Tory MP Lucy Ellen, who tweeted, "Got a lot of time for it. Johnny Mercer like me, he got into Parliament the hard way. That gives you a different perspective and much-needed independence from party machine. He also has courage." Theresa May is in a perilous bind on Brexit. In the interview, asked how the Johnny Mercer who left the army in 2012 would vote now, he said, "I wouldn't go and vote. There's no doubt about it that my set of values and ethos, I was comfortable that it was aligned with the Conservative Party. I'm not as comfortable that that's the case anymore. If the situation was like it is now, I can safely say there would be absolutely no chance that I would try and be a member of Parliament." 051 video, Theresa May reiterates that she thinks a deal can be reached. Claiming he would turn down a government job, which he is unlikely to be offered after this outburst, he hinted he was so disillusioned he might stand down at the next election. "I could just crack on in Plymouth. I'm 37 years old," he said. "There are other things I want to do as well as being a member of Parliament for Plymouth in terms of my personal life with my family," and defending his right to attack the Prime Minister and the Tory leadership, he said, "I feel at the moment that I can't just stand by and not say anything." Despite claiming to be a team player, Mr. Mercer said, "But when you go home from here on a Thursday and go for a run across Dartmoor or whatever, and you're stripped to your core being, I mean, yeah, you realize it's a tshow. Attacking Theresa May personally, he said, "The party will never really change until you have somebody who is leading the party who has won a seat and knows what it's like to go out every weekend and advocate for what you just voted for that week." "I sat down with a colleague the other day and I was stunned when it told me she had never been canvassing and attacking her Brexit strategy," he said. "If you look at Chequers, for example, that is your classic professional politician's answer because it's right down the middle. It doesn't make anybody happy. It's the ultimate in not making a decision." When asked whether he was being pushed towards a position he was not comfortable with, he said, "Yes, absolutely. And I'm afraid if the Prime Minister and others think that the only people who are going to kick up a stink are those on the extremes." Despite claiming he would turn down a government job, Mr. Mercer said his ambition had always been to be Defense Secretary. "I'd love to be a Defense Secretary who had 10 years to rip apart that department, make it work, get the offer right to our young people," he said. "We are such an amazing, proud military nation. It's really tough to see what's going on now." Image, Mr. Mercer attacked Mrs. May personally and declaring that he is a patriot. He said, "I'm not going to sit at the back of the bus and watch it head towards the edge of the cliff. I'm not going to let us go down without a serious **T fight." Tory MPs will see Mr. Mercer's fierce attack on the PM and the party leadership as further evidence of increasingly eccentric behavior from an MP once seen as a talented young backbencher with a bright future ahead of him. In an emotional speech during a Commons debate on universal credit this week, Mr. Mercer clashed angrily and repeatedly with Labour and SNP MPs, saying, "Nobody believes that universal credit is perfect. Have we more to do? Of course we have. Am I happy? Do I think this is an area in which we can reduce our financial commitment? Absolutely not. Do I think the Conservatives can come up with a policy and not follow it up with funding? Absolutely not. I will continue to lobby, along with my colleagues, to ensure that, in this budget, the Chancellor reinvests some of that money so that the policy works.